Well, I'm here with Chris from the Devil Wears Prada. How are you today?
I am great. Thank you very much.
Cool. You're on the tour with August Burns Red. How has it been so far?
Well, it just started, and this is actually like one of the biggest rooms that we've played so far, so I'm excited to play. But the crowds have been awesome. We may as well be headlining as far as like the crowd reaction, so pretty stoked on that. It's been good.
Well, that's awesome. And I was actually lucky enough to catch you in New York this summer at the Mayhem Festival. And how is your set this time different from what you were going to be playing over at the Mayhem Festival?
It's not different at all because we are playing the Mayhem Festival set. So that is the exact answer to the question.
All right, well, I mean, how do you think the crowds are different, and which do you prefer? Is the UK audience quite different?
Honestly, it's weird. It almost seems as if the people over here don't have our newer records. Like whenever we play the songs from Dead Throne and stuff like that, they are just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, there's a few people that know the words and everything, but they get really excited when we play our older stuff over here, as opposed to in the States, they're more on like the newer stuff, I guess. So I don't know if it's because it hasn't been able to, be marketed properly or whatever over here, but yeah, like, whenever it's super weird, we play old songs and people just go off here, and that is probably the main difference. So, not a bad thing.
Awesome, man. You just put out a live album, Dead and Alive, that was recorded in Massachusetts.
Yes.
Why did you decide to record it down there?
There were a lot of places. We had like a few different places that we wanted to do it at, where all the crowds were always good, where it would be a cool looking venue to do it at, a place that would let us shoot a DVD there, and there were just all these different factors, and it came down to like 3 different venues, and that one worked the best. It was towards the end of the tour. We always have good shows there. The Palladium is an awesome venue. It just worked out, so we just chose the Palladium.
Awesome, and you guys have just got signed to Roadrunner, which is awesome. And as a Devil Wears Prada fan, can we expect something different from you guys, or are you guys going to just prove that you're just going to do what all your fans know and love?
I guess we always just kind of do what we want anyways, and that's what we always say is good about our fans, is that no matter what we do, they always seem to get it and not necessarily be like, oh, we miss your old stuff, like you suck now. I guess it's the general consensus online anyways, because we always read what everyone has to say online and everything. The general consensus is that we get better with every record, and that's what every band wants to do. So yeah, we're just trying to keep writing music that we want to hear, and generally the music that we want to hear is what other people want to hear, because I'm a fan of this type of music. I listen to other bands that sound like us, and if a song that we write makes me feel like, yeah, like this is good, then generally other people like it too, so we're just going to keep doing that.
Yeah, where is that inspiration you get from those songs, and what is it that really drives you to write the songs you do?
I definitely listen to all the music that comes out in our genre nowadays, not necessarily because they're all my favorite bands or anything, but because I do like to listen to what else has been put out, because I don't want to write the same record that we've written. I don't want to write the same record that some other band has written. We just like progression musically is what we always strive for, and even though it's not a competition, I do want to be better than everyone else as far as like music goes. I want to write music that wows people, and if they've already heard it, then that's kind of hard to do. So it's kind of like doing my homework. I just have to listen to what's been done and then do it better. And whether I do that or not, I don't know. I just try to. For example, the new As I Lay Dying record that just came out, Awakened. Like, I listened to that, and it just gives me there's certain parts that give me goosebumps, and I'm just like, man, this is so good. But then I try to break it down, and I'm like, what about this part is giving me goosebumps? And then I'll just try to like recreate that moment in our songs without stealing it or anything like that. Like, we don't steal riffs, we steal vibes, I guess. And as far as like, oh, they're doing a tempo change right there, and that's why this next part is so heavy. Just like kind of studying other music and deciding what makes me think a song is good, and then just trying to make our own version of that, I suppose.
Yeah, and what other bands are there that you really look at for that type of inspiration? Are there any bands that you see sort of coming up that are sort of really good that you really think people are going to get excited about, or do you guys always go back to the sort of maybe the older bands that you listened to when you were young?
With the newer bands, it's definitely more of I listen to it and I want to make sure not to be doing the same things as them. I won't necessarily. There's not a lot of newer bands that are necessarily impressing me. It's more the ones that, like the Parkway Drive type bands. Like I really love them. I really love As I Lay Dying. The bands that I grew up listening to that I considered to be good are still good, and I just kind of like try to draw from that. And then the new bands that people kind of lump in with us as far as genre-wise, I just kind of listen to that stuff to stay away from what they're doing, quite honestly. So, yeah.
And what about other bands you'd love to tour with?
Well, considering we've already checked off a lot from the wish list of when we were kids. It was always Under Oath, As I Lay Dying, Slipknot. Like we've toured with a lot of our dream bands, and honestly, we don't. Off the top of my head, there's no dream band that we have that we'd like to tour with. We worked with Killswitch. We've toured with Killswitch, and Killswitch Engage is another one of those bands that continually impresses me and I find inspiration from. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because, one, we are quite a different band popularity-wise over here than we are in the States. Like, I don't know, this tour, like as far as like us supporting Osbourne's Red might be different if it was in the States, And so it's just kind of like when we're over here, we need to just be on whatever tour we need to be on to gain popularity and do all that. So as far as like, honestly, as far as the bands that we set out on that wish list, we've kind of checked them all off. So from here on out, it's just like, we'll see what happens.
Well, we were lucky enough to catch you on the Warped Tour 2 years ago as well. Cool. And you guys were on at 12 in the morning, right?
Yeah, it's random every day. You don't even know until you wake up. They honestly draw it out of a hat every morning. That's how they figure it out.
Well, that's awesome, and what was it like to have to try and make people dance that early in the morning?
I guess you could say a little bit nerve-wracking. Like, there's nothing really that you can do. You just have to get up there and play the exact same show every single day. Like this venue today holds, I want to say, probably like 2,000 people, and the one we played last night only held 400, and you better bet we're just going to do the exact same thing every single time. Like that's the only way that you can really succeed as a live band. If you just at the smaller shows just sit there and just kind of like don't really care, then people notice that, and you just got to go off every single time. And the only hard part about playing at noon is waking up early enough to get pumped up, get enough Red Bull in your veins that you can, perform. But yeah.
And as a sort of touring musician and a recording musician, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer being in the studio and being able to be creative, or do you prefer being on stage and rocking out?
I guess there's two sides to the question. I definitely really love being in the studio. That is what I was going to originally say. Creating music is why I'm in a band. Playing it live is definitely fun, and that's the best part of my day every day when I'm on tour. But the part I don't like about being on tour is just waiting around to play all day, every day. Like, just sitting in the back room with nothing to do. Like, if we could just show up, play as soon as we got there, go to the next gig, play as soon as we got there, it'd be quite different. Like, you'd be busy all the time. But the thing about being on tour is that you're just so bored at all times. We definitely try to find things to fill our day. We've already been to a comic shop today, walk around, get food. I'm playing video games back there right now. It just gets, like, at the end of the 5 weeks, you're so tired of being bored. And that's why I enjoy being in the studio more, because it's just constant work. When I'm working, I'm not bored, and boredom equals no fun.
Absolutely, and I have to ask, what are the Devil Wears Prada's favorite games and movies to watch while on the road?
We watch every movie that there is even available. Like a lot of the buses that we get over here have hard drives on them. We just start at the top and we go down and we watch all of them. And right now, a lot of us are reading, reading different comics. I'm reading Walking Dead right now. Just started Fatale. I haven't really read through a lot of it. But as far as video games, I'm playing Borderlands 2 and Dishonored, and everyone just has like their own things that they're obsessed with, I suppose, and I've put a lot of time. I think I put a lot of time into video games. I'll sit at home, play them every day. For example, Borderlands 2, I have like a level 24 or something or other. I come in and ask Andy, our bass player, how far he is, and he's like, oh, well, I have a level 50 and a level 36 and a level 15. And I'm like, gosh, you like seriously never stop playing that. So yeah.
Okay, and what's the future for the Devil Wears Prada? What can we look forward for as fans?
Well, I would say we already have our next record like halfway written. We've normally what we do is I write a bunch of songs on the computer, and then we get together as a band and we write songs as a band, and also I teach them the songs that I've written on the computer. And I would say we have like maybe 6 or 7 songs with like every single instrument, vocals, and everything in them. We're just going to continue writing, figure out who we want to record with next year. Next summer, I think we're looking to do like European festivals and all that. And then just, doing the same old, always being on tour, always be working, and always just work towards the goal of, being as busy as possible in this band. So
Cool. And do you have any ideas who you're going to record with yet?
We have a few people that we would like to record with. The number one thing that we want to do is we want to try to get back with Adam D. That was an awesome experience. I don't know if that's going to work because Killswitch is starting back up again, and he's like doing all that stuff. But honestly, that is what we've been talking about most of the time that we're here, is like discussing producers and stuff. There's too many to name. It would be way too early to say who we're looking to record with, because right now all it is a list. We haven't contacted anyone. We don't know what is working. We just want somebody who can help us with the songs and not just press record, just because that's what Adam did last time, and I felt it was very helpful to the end result. So just somebody, we're gonna definitely make it work. It's gonna be good. I'm excited about the next record.
Awesome. And if there's any listeners who've maybe never heard the Devil Wears Prada, if you could pick one song from your whole catalogue to play them and say, this is what the Devil Wears Prada are about, what would it be and why?
Oh, man. See, that's the problem, is we kind of do like the melodic and we do the heavy. One of my personal favorite songs is Kansas, but that doesn't have any vocals in it, so that might be kind of hard in saying like this is what our band sounds like completely. I don't know. My favorite song is I would say Mammoth, because right now it's that's a pretty straightforward, accessible song. There's nothing in it that, like, I can show my grandma that song. She's like, oh, I get why people would like this. The screaming's not for me, but So yeah, Mammoth is one of my favorite songs. It's pretty simple, but it gets the job done just the way that it should be, I suppose.
Awesome. Well, thank you very, very much for your time, and I will see you at
Yeah.
the front.
Thank you very much.